Hey everybody, Daniel Moznett here with Cowboy Charcoal, and we've got another easy weeknight meal for you, all prepared out here on the grill. Simple stuff. We're doing chicken and steak kebabs with a little homemade tzatziki sauce, some grilled naan. Really easy dish. This is great for a big party with a bunch of people because it's super easy. You can do it all ahead of time and then just grill your kebabs right when your folks get there. Or this is something that you can do for dinner in about 15-20 minutes. So let's show you how to do it. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start with some oak and hickory lump charcoal. We've had this going for about 10 minutes or so in our charcoal chimney. It's the easiest way to light charcoal. Grab a charcoal chimney. I just used a little donut ring of paper on the bottom. You can use a Cowboy fire starter, whatever you like. And once that gets going, you can see the flames start to hit the top. We're gonna let that cook down just for a few more minutes, about 5 minutes or so, and we're gonna dump it right inside. So let's get started. We've got our chicken here, boneless, skinless chicken breast. We've cut them into about 1.5 inches or so by 1.5 inch squares. We're just gonna cut a few more, very simply. And we're gonna wanna make sure that they're gonna fit nicely on the skewer. Make sure there's no excess fat. This is enough for about 6 skewers, but obviously you can make as many as you want. For the chicken, we're gonna do a couple of different marinades. We're gonna do one for steak, and we're gonna do one for chicken. So for the chicken, we're gonna add just a few ingredients. We're gonna add a little bit of lemon juice, fresh squeezed lemons. We're gonna add a little bit of soy sauce, a little bit of garlic, not too much as you like, just do it to taste. We're gonna add a little bit more with our beef. We're gonna add some Dijon, kind of helps bind it all together. A little Dijon. Little bit of olive oil, not too much. And then we're gonna add our Spiceology rotisserie chicken seasoning. Super easy. Man, so many great aromas in there, great flavors, and that's all you're gonna need to do. So now I was saying you could do this ahead of time. So this is a marinade that you can make, and you can put all of this chicken in your marinade about a day ahead of time, and you can pull everything out when you're ready to use it, or you can marinate it for a couple of hours. It's up to you, however much time you have. So we're just gonna toss all of our pieces right inside the marinade. We're gonna let that sit while we get our steak ready. So now that all of that is nice and incorporated, we're just gonna let that sit until we're ready to skewer. Okay? Now we're gonna get ready for our steak. Steak is exactly the same as our chicken. We've got a few pieces cut here all ready to go. Now we're using New York strip, and let me show you on the strip. You've got one end piece here that is capped with fat, okay? When you're cooking the New York strip alone, you can leave that fat there because that's gonna render out. But when you're making kebabs, you're definitely gonna wanna slice that off. That's not something that it's just gonna turn to hard gristle because you're cooking it really fast. So you're gonna cut all of that excess fat off on all sides. Okay, now we're just gonna make pieces out of this. Again, about 1 inch by 1 inch. You wanna make sure they're all pretty uniform sizes. So for the steak, we're gonna use a little bit of Sasquatch fire, right? We're gonna wanna make it a little bit spicy. You could use the Sasquatch fire for the chicken too if you like. A little bit of olive oil because we wanna make that marinade style, right? So we need a little bit of viscosity in there. We're gonna add some of our garlic again, right? And to this one, we're gonna do just a little bit of salt and pepper. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and then we're gonna mix it up just like we did with the chicken. We're gonna take our meat. We're just gonna add that right to the bowl. And again, you're gonna wanna let this marinade for at least a couple hours up to overnight. Get all of this done ahead of time, okay? So now that those are ready to go, it looks like our coals are ready. How can you tell that your coals are ready? We're gonna show you. So you've got a little bit of the flame popping out right on the top. And you're also gonna see a little bit of white that's starting to crust over the lump charcoal that's in there. That's when you know that it's ready to go. When you've got about 60 to 70% what we call ash over, that's all the white that you're gonna see around the lump charcoal. And the fire coming out on top. Make sure you have a glove on, a thicker glove if you need. And then we're just gonna take it and we're gonna dump it on one side of our grill. I'm using a Kamado style grill today. You can use a kettle. You can do this on a gas grill if you want with some wood chips on the side. It's up to you. To that, we're gonna add some cherry chips. We're gonna add those right to the top. Add about 2 handfuls. And we're just gonna let that come up to temperature a little bit. We're gonna add our grill grate right over the top. Now what we've done is we've added 2 zones of fire here. We've got a nice hot burning fire. So we've got a sear zone, and then we've got another zone right over here to the side that's a little bit cooler, so we can let our food rest a little bit. And if it's getting a little bit too hot, it's starting to get burned, we can just move it off the direct heat. So we've got a direct zone and an indirect zone. That's what they mean by a 2-zone fire. All right, so now let's get our kabobs put together. You're just gonna take your skewer, grab your ingredients. We're using just simply red onions, yellow bell peppers, red bell peppers, and we're just gonna alternate. We're gonna start with our chicken. We'll start with 1 piece of chicken, 1 pepper, 1 onion, and then back to the chicken. Just gonna repeat this process until skewer is full. All right, so these have been cooking here for just a few minutes, and we're already getting some nice caramelization on them. You can see that this side is cooking really hot because we've got it over the hot side of the grill here. So we're gonna wanna make sure we keep our eyes really close on this side so we don't burn anything. And if it starts to burn, if it starts to get a little bit too hot, we're just gonna move them over to the cooler side. We'll let those go for about 5 to 7 minutes per side. We want them nice and medium rare for the steak. You want to cook your chicken at 165. All right, so when you're doing kabobs, just make sure that you gently turn everything. You can get some charring on the peppers, and that's good. Just make sure you keep everything turned. All right, so we're cooking on that side. I'm gonna show you how we're gonna do our tzatziki. It's just sour cream. You want your finely chopped cucumber, a little bit of lemon juice, some fresh dill, and that's tzatziki sauce. Really simple. It's better if you let this sit in the refrigerator for about an hour so it sets up a little bit like we've done here. So we're gonna use this one, but that's how you make a quick and easy tzatziki. All right, let's check our kabobs. We should be just about done. Oh, that's perfect. We'll get some charring, like I said, right around the outside of the peppers. That's a good time to know when to flip them. We can set a couple of these off to the cooler side. That's why we have 2 zones. Looks like we're cooking a little bit hotter right on this side. There's a few more coals over here, so we're cooking a little bit hotter on this side. I'd even rearrange these and bring the steak over. With the steak, you don't really need to cook these very long. 3 to 4 minutes aside, and you're gonna have a perfect medium rare. So now that those are done, we're gonna add our naan right to the grill. We'll flip this a couple of times. But you definitely don't wanna burn these. If you burn them, start over with the new one. And we see a little bit of white liquids that are bubbling outside of our chicken. That's telling us that our chicken, the juices are running clear, so that those are getting cooked. And those are about well done. So I think we're ready. How simple was that? Really easy. Only took a few minutes to cook, a few minutes to prepare. You can do this ahead of time, and you're ready to go. Our naan's all cooked. We'll take our naan, set it on our platter here. Grab our kabobs. We'll alternate a couple of beef, a couple of chicken, easy as that. Okay, now that our kebabs are done, we can hit with a little fresh parsley right over the top. Take our naan, a little bit of a spoonful right inside. I'm gonna start with the beef. Just grab a few pieces of beef, it just comes right off. And that's it. That's fantastic. You really get all those spices right through the meat. Perfect. The cherry chips, you can taste that sweet, smoky flavor. Perfect for these kebabs. Remember, if you want to see more of these recipes, make sure you like, follow, subscribe. I'm Daniel Moznett. Till next week, we're cooking with Cowboy.